Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top stories today. Beginning in southeast Nebraska, where the Fairbury Rural Fire Department responded to a residential fire Tuesday afternoon. Assistant Fire Chief Judd Stewart tells us the initial call came out just after 12:30 p.m. of smoke coming from the front door of a residence on F Street. The fire was declared out after about 45 minutes of the initial call. The fire determined to be caused by an electrical issue. No word on any injuries. Well, what does it take to win an election as an independent in Nebraska? For a U.S. Senate candidate, it could come down to two things. Will there be a debate? And who's he supporting for president? I had a chance to visit with News Channel Nebraska's Joe Jordan to dive deeper into the Dan Osborne campaign. Joe Jordan here to join us and talk about the Dan Osborne campaign. And Joe, you've had a chance to talk to him about this. He's being a little bit cagey about who he's going to support for president. Maybe he doesn't know yet. How might that affect his chances of winning this race as an independent?
Eric, for the most part, this campaign, Dan Osborne against Deb Fischer, has been sort of under the radar, pretty quiet. In the last 24 hours, Osborne is demanding 4 debates with Senator Fischer. He wants one in each of the state's 3 congressional districts. He wants that so-called traditional state fair debate. My guess is he's asking for 4, hoping to get at least 1. I think he gets at least 1, maybe 2 when it's all said and done. In the meantime, he's walking a very fine line between this independent campaign and winding up in political no man's land, as you mentioned, with who he's going to vote for, possibly for president. I've talked to him about this recently, and take a look.
Who are you voting for president?
Well, I haven't really decided yet. I don't think I would have earned my vote at this point in time.
If elected as an independent, you would have the choice, I guess, to who you wanted to caucus with, Democrats or Republicans. What's your choice?
A lot of that is I'd like to see how everything's going to be set up. First, who's going to be president, how the Senate's going to be set up. And I fully plan on being a true independent.
For the most part, the Fischer campaign has tried to ignore Dan Osborne. That while the Democrats in the state were trying to team up with him to take on Deb Fischer. But Osborne sort of pretty much turned his back on the Democrats and he wants to go it alone. So we're going to watch play out a very interesting case of an independent running against a well-heeled incumbent Republican senator in the state of Nebraska. First of its kind here, and it's going to be curious over the next several months how Osborne can negotiate this presidential campaign and his own campaign at the same time.
It will be certainly interesting to see one of the more unique political races in Nebraska in quite some time. Joe Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Nebraska's governor says he may back down from a potential structure that's been causing debates on water rights between Nebraska and Colorado. Nebraska Public Media reporting that Governor Jim Pillen made comments at a town hall in York regarding the Perkins County Canal. Now, the governor's office then commented to our news partners at 10:11 now, saying that if it turns into a long-term legal battle, the cost may become too burdensome for Nebraska taxpayers. The canal was initially announced under previous governor Pete Ricketts. He said at the time that the $628 million canal's purpose is to secure Nebraska's water rights under the 1923 South Platte River Compact. But a spokesman for Colorado's governor, Jared Polis, has called the project a, quote, canal to nowhere, end quote, that will never be built. For those that struggle with substance abuse, sometimes it can be hard to find help. Well, a Central Nebraska nonprofit is expanding its services to help those people get back on the right track. Ryan Valenta has more.
Right now, this may just be an empty hotel, but it will soon be fully operational in a different capacity. In just a few months, Revive Inc. of Hastings is set to open the only substance abuse treatment facility with full continuum of care in between Lincoln and Denver.
I was worried I was going to have to talk everyone into doing this and saying, hey, this is important. But they were coming to me saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's work together and get this done.
Executive Director Christine Kasperbauer has only held her title at Revive Inc. since last October, but she's responsible for a huge upgrade to Revive services. The Hastings-based nonprofit acquired the Motel 6 and Hastings Convention Center building less than a month ago. They're now in the process of renovating those existing rooms into 80-plus residences for people in need of substance abuse rehab in the short term and long term. Currently, Revive offers outpatient services, but for their clients that experience a relapse, they usually have to send them to a detox facility in Lincoln or Omaha.
When it comes to detox, we really need to get them serviced immediately. And if we can't, they sometimes change their mind or it's too late and they end up passing on.
Revive says they've seen great community support behind their project and also received a community development block grant to help with funding for renovations. Hastings Development Services worked with Revive in receiving the block grant.
Substance abuse is just a thing that every community has to deal with, and so we can either deal with it or put our head in the sand. So I'm glad an organization in Hastings is ready to tackle the issue and deal with it in a bigger way.
Revive's existing services will transfer over to their new building in addition to their new services. They will also add 40 jobs, and the benefits will come full circle to everyone from staff to clients.
I heard it the other day, the person that is getting helped becomes the helper, and then they help the people that need help. And so it's all about helping and showing love to the individuals that need this help.
Work to clear the former motel room's contents has begun, and Revive will begin putting their touch on it next month. The nonprofit plans to open their new building in August. In Hastings, Ryan Valenta with News Channel Nebraska.
A pilot program that allowed low-income residents to purchase WIC products online has expanded throughout the state. The Department of Health and Human Services says they've expanded the program through a partnership with Hy-Vee. The program allows residents to order WIC-eligible products online and then pick them up at any Hy-Vee location that offers online pickup service. The expansion happened last month after a 2-month pilot in Lincoln. State officials estimate WIC serves about 35,000 people around the state each month. Thousands of homes and buildings in rural Nebraska will be getting access to broadband internet thanks to new grants. The Public Service Commission announced nearly $31 million in capital projects funds designed to bring broadband to unserved and underserved areas of the state. It's the second round of grants for the 3rd Congressional District this year. A news release says the PSC granted 28 applications for funding. The projects will bring broadband to about 1,600 unserved and 1,600 underserved locations. You can see a full map of the projects at our website. Well, a transformational project in northeast Nebraska looking to attract more residents is nearly complete with the first 2 phases of the project done. Luke Stera has more.
A lot of this is going to be prairie grass since it's Prairie Park.
Several years ago, Wayne's old lagoon on the southeast side of town was cleaned out.
We sat down and decided we wanted to put a lake down here and more ball fields, soccer fields, and a new park and rec building.
The Prairie Park project is 40% complete, and it will bring camper spots, connecting walking trails, and add to a growing part of Wayne.
It's transformational for Wayne in this part of town. It'll really enhance the living in the entire community, but especially down in this area.
Blakey says in small towns like Wayne, it's crucial for the city to provide incentives that encourage residents to remain within the community.
A lot of jobs anymore are going remote, and so you can live wherever you want. We've got to give people a reason to live in Wayne.
The LENRD gave the city a helping hand, providing $150,000 towards the project, given out over the next 3 years. Those funds will go towards the shower house and bathroom facility. Due to the phase style of project, Blakey says phase 1 and 2 are in the process of being completed. The next step is connecting the trail and bridge work around the lake. Having been with the city for over 20 years, Hagemeyer says he's enjoyed seeing the project develop for the people of Wayne.
But to be able to come down here and ride your bike and actually come down and throw a pole in and fish right in town would be a great benefit for the kids and family.
A town hall on Thursday will review citizens' input from a survey, and Blakey says the answers will help go after more grants for the project. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, this is Luke Stera.
And a Valentine man has won a national award for his work studying, protecting, and managing the Niobrara National Scenic River. Casey Wannenberg explains how his work impacts so many in Nebraska.
Pick this background because it means a lot.
Growing up in Valentine, Travis Conant says the Niobrara National Scenic River,
The cliffs on the refuge.
definitely holds a special place in his heart.
Me and my wife got married and went to Stair Step Falls. We floated the river for our little getaway.
The river is also part of Conant's professional life. He's a biologist and the Natural Resource Program Manager for the Niobrara National Scenic River.
Being able to protect this river and make it sustainable for the farmers, the ranchers, the recreational people, everybody that utilizes this river.
He's River Manager of the Year.
This week, Conant was surprised
To Mr. Travis Conant
to receive a national award for his work. The River Management Society named him River Manager of the Year.
This is a major big deal. It's not a park service, it's not a government thing. It's open to all private and public sectors, anybody who does work on a river, any river.
Actually, yeah, really shocked that I won this award.
Some of the things that he did was he went out and on his own found a grant for $264,000 to help us monitor the aquifer so we know what the water levels are doing. This river is fed by the groundwater.
I'm still shocked that I won.
A national award for a local man.
We're proud of you.
Trying to make a difference for not only those living in Nebraska today, but for generations to come.
It's important to be able to protect it for my kids, their kids, and so forth. It means a lot.
In Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.